Hello, welcome back to Casablanca. This is the Halloween episode, and I will be talking about Nosferatu, which is a 1922 silent horror film directed by F.W. Murnau and starring Max Schreck, Gustav von Wangenheim, and Greta Schröder. I thought I had those names. There was one that I could... Nah. Anyway, this is a classic. I've seen it so many times. I technically didn't even need to watch it this time, but I saw it on Blu-ray a few months back, and I was like, you know what? You know, that the fact that I found it on Blu-ray months ago is the reason that it's the Halloween episode this year. I saw it, and I was like, I have to get it. And then I was like, I want to watch it now. No, wait, I'm going to hold off on that. I want to watch it now. No, hold off on that. I know when to watch it. And then, yeah, I made it the Halloween episode. I spent more time on this than I thought I would. Anyway, so the story of this, it's basically Dracula, but not. Because, like, the names and, you know, places and, story kind of has been changed. It's actually kind of an interesting story. They could actually make a movie about the making of Nosferatu itself, and it would be really interesting because there's a reason that it's similar to Dracula. It was actually an unofficial Dracula movie. It was loosely based on Bram Stoker's Dracula. And yeah, when because Bram Stoker had passed away at this point, and his widow found out about it, and she wanted the royalties, and so she sued them for the royalties, and they were like, "Yep, no, we don't like that," and so they fought it, and they lost. And so she ordered all copies to be destroyed, and they were, and that's why we've never seen this movie. It's a lost film. Okay, obviously that's not true. She waited too long, I think, because by then the film had already been sent out to like different theaters and people had it, and yeah, good luck with that. But honestly, I'm glad she waited too long because it would have been a lost film and we'd never heard of it. Oh, if we did hear about it, it'd be some footnote in film history that like only the diehards would have heard of. It's like, oh, remember when this German director tried to rip off Dracula? Haha, that would have been funny. No, but actually, it's a really good thing this movie survived. Not just because it's a classic and it's a great movie, but also because, well, it's a very important one too. This film is, it is a horror film, and it actually is. It's even now, like, it's kind of a terrifying movie, and well, it's funny is like I'll tell people, oh yeah, Nosferatu, it's like a really scary silent film, and they're like, scary silent film? Isn't that an oxymoron? Like, you've got to see it. And, you know, last year I did the episode on The Wind. It was a silent film. And I basically made it an episode about silent films, so I'm not going to do that again. But basically, I could go on and on about silent films and why I wish people would give them a chance. They are really interesting and really good. But I did that last year, not going to do it this year. There was a movie I recommend. It came out in 2000. It's called Shadow of the Vampire. It's inspired by a rumor. It's obviously not true. Because like there was a lot of mystery surrounding Max Schreck, who was the I was gonna say the voice of Nosferatu, but he played Nosferatu, Count Orlok in the movie, and there was a lot of mystery surrounding him in real life, and so in the movie, Shadow of the Vampire, it's a very fictionalized version of the making of Nosferatu, where it turns out Max Schreck is actually a vampire, and he is played by William Dafoe, and Murnau, the director, is played by John Malkovich. So like I saw it like 10 years ago, and I thought it was really interesting. I liked it. Unfortunately, it's not streaming anywhere. You'd have to rent it on Amazon. I, I used the Watch This app to find out where stuff is streaming, and it says Prime Video as a subscription. No, as a rental. It is a subscription service, but not all the movies on there are available for rent. Sometimes you have to rent. No, some of them aren't available for streaming. Some of them you have to rent. Some of them you can buy. Shadow of the Vampire is one that you could rent or buy, but you can't stream it. Well, you could stream it once you buy it, but you can't stream it without buying it or renting it. You know what I mean? Yeah. So this film has had several remakes over the years. Well, not several. It's had at least one, and I saw that one long ago, and I did not like it. It was awful. It came out in the 70s, and I did not like it at all. So, and I heard that they were doing another remake, and I was like, oh no, why are you going to do this? Why are you going to do a remake of Nosferatu? Just re-release it again. And I realized that it was going to be directed by Roger Ebert. And I was like, okay, you have my attention. If that name doesn't sound familiar, he directed The Witch, The Lighthouse, The Northman, and now he's going to direct Nosferatu. And then when the trailer came out, I was like, okay, you really have my attention. This actually kind of looks good. I am looking forward to this. The only thing I don't like about it at this point is that it's releasing Christmas Day. Why are you releasing Nosferatu on Christmas Day? Why not October? This doesn't make any sense to me. But I will say that they're doing something good in the trailers, and they're not really showing us Nosferatu. I was getting a little concerned because, like, well, first off, they're not showing us. So what are they not showing us? And then I realized who was playing Nosferatu. And now I'm not really that worried because Count Orlok is going to be played by Bill Skarsgård, who played Pennywise. And yes, he did have a bad movie come out this year. He played... I had a similar scenario with him this year where when they announced the Crow remake, I was like, stop, don't do a remake. It's gonna be awful. And then they said, Bill Skarsgård is gonna play him. And I'm like, okay, this might work. And then I saw that trailer and I'm like, okay, maybe not. But, like, he doesn't have a whole lot of bad movies. What are the odds it happens twice in a row? I'm just gonna hold out hope that this is a good movie. I'm going to try not to compare it to the original, but it's going to be really hard when it's something like this. Imagine they did a remake of Back to the Future. Normally, when I go in to see a remake, I was like, this is its own thing. It's, don't think of the original. Think of this one as its own thing. But Nosferatu is like such an iconic movie. You're going to go in, there's no way to not compare it. But I am looking forward to it. I do plan to see it the day it comes out. And I won't do an episode of that one, obviously, because there will be one episode left of the year when that movie comes out. Of this show, obviously. Okay, so I'm looking at where to stream Nosferatu. You could stream it on Prime Video, AMC Plus, the Roku channel, Hoopla, Vudu, Tubi, Canopy, or Crackle, SX, Pluto TV, Shout TV, Plex, Freevee, pretty much everything. Oh, Kino Film. You subscribe. You can subscribe to Kino Film. Kino, they do a bunch of old movies. And so I didn't even look at that. So you can basically stream it everywhere. However, I will say that you don't need a streaming service to watch this. It is in the public domain. It is on YouTube. In fact, I just looked it up on YouTube. There are so many results of the full movie. And I know from looking in the past that most of these, because it's in the public domain and people know, oh, I can post this, I can do whatever I want with it basically, they'll make their own music. And I saw a version of Nosferatu with rock music specifically made for this movie. And it was really cool. And I honestly encourage that. That is really nice. It's like once the Steamboat really... It's like once Steamboat Willie entered the public domain, there was all these different videos. Most of them are memes or jokes and remixes. But I did see a few where people like added sound. Or like had him speak. Or like did new music. Did something creative with it that wasn't meant to be. Oh, look at this funny thing I did. I made him swear. But this is creative. Adding original music to Nosferatu. And so, if you don't like the music that comes on the Blu-ray, which I like the music that comes on the Blu-ray, I don't know if it's based on the original music written for the movie, or if it was, it's a modern take on it or something, but it seems to go well with the movie. And I like it. But there's pretty much a Nosferatu for every genre, basically, because they have one with all sorts of music, like I keep pointing out. And my favorite alternate version was the one with rock music, and that was really cool. So if you don't want to pay for a streaming service, you don't have to. Just go on YouTube.